Hello, good evening, and welcome to the Fatback 4 Daily for this Tuesday night. Liverpool have exited the FA Cup after a 2-0 defeat at Stamford Bridge to Chelsea. Heads are falling off everywhere, let's be honest about it. This is brought to you by Paddy Power, a bookies, a website and an app. If you gamble, please gamble responsibly and remember to do so with Paddy Power. With me for immediate reaction is Keith, and we will go through the game. We will go through certain players. We look forward to Bournemouth at the weekend because all the focus is on that now. And we just have a little chat about where Liverpool stand at the moment. Here we go. And here we go. Liverpool, as I said, have exited the FA Cup at the hands of Chelsea in a 2-0 defeat at Stamford Bridge. And Keith, I'm going to come to you first. Disappointing night. There's no doubt about it. When you lose a game, it's a disappointing night. But how much has this affected you? How much has it got to you? How much are you down about it? Because there's a lot of mixed reaction. There's a lot of reaction that, this is just a continuation of a terrible run we're on. You know, other people have said, look, not really bothered. Where do you stand on this?
Well, I'm in the not really bothered camp, to be honest with you, Gav. I'm pissed off that we lost because I don't like to see us losing. Winning, confidence when you win games. When you start losing games, last four haven't been great performances, it starts to creep in a bit in nerves. And it brings us back to, a few years ago when we were regularly shy, for want of a better word. But ultimately, I'm not, it's not going to ruin my season that we were knocked out of the FA Cup, put it that way. Do you know what I mean? It's not really. We haven't put too many eggs into that basket so far. And while we had a stronger team out tonight, I'm not overly upset that way. Look, I don't want to lose. I never want to lose. And I certainly never want to lose against the likes of Chelsea. Mm-hmm. But it's a tough place to go at the best of times. Even if they're not in good form, we certainly aren't in good form, and it showed tonight. We'll talk about the game, but it was a bit of a mad one.
There's loads of comments flying in here, and they're quite mixed. Stephen O'Connor says absolutely awful again. Gav, zero creativity yet again. Deeply concerned with our form. His Hifzor says he called this. He said we'd lose this game. Fabinho was awful. Danny Emery says he's in the bothered camp. Galeno says I think we look knackered. A lot of our best players haven't looked right for a while, but that's what it's taken to deliver our first title in 30 years. Interesting point.
Exactly. I think that's the key point.
I'll come to that in a little bit. Yeah. Stevie S says worrying trend creeping in now. 3 defeats in a row. Well, it's not 3 defeats in a row. It's did I miss a game somewhere where we lost? We beat West Ham and then we lost to Watford and we lost to Chelsea. Joe Robinson says 4 poor performances in a row. We have to we're starting to get figured out, or is this a blip? I think it is a blip. Hifsord again says zero creativity in midfield seen in the past few games, and people say they won't take Coutinho back. Absolutely laughable. JJ said it could have been 5-0. Yeah, but I think we had a good couple of chances as well. Nordred says couldn't care less. Couldn't care less. Worry not. Just have to listen to clowns like Lineker, etc. But when we lift the real trophies, he can do one. Look, let's go back to the start of the game like I always do when we come out of a game. I like to look at the lineup. So he goes fairly strong. He has Adrian in goal instead of Alisson. Nico Williams comes in instead of Trent. He has the normal 3 off the back 4 there. He goes with Fabinho, Jones, Lallana, and then he goes Minamino, Origi, and Mane. Now, he goes fairly strong, but Keith, from the outset, it looked to me like we have a good start. We could probably be 1-0 up within 2 minutes, but from the outset, it looks all wrong to me. Now, don't get me wrong, I thought Nico Williams was one of our best players on the night. Gomez done okay, Van Dijk done okay. Robertson is very quiet, but I think he's affected by Origi. But there's a couple of players in that pitch we're carrying from early on, i.e. I thought Origi, I thought Lallana, I thought Jones was quite poor, and I thought Mane didn't look like he wanted to be playing out on the right and wasn't effective for me in that role.
Yeah, I'd agree with all them. I think Lallana and Jones in midfield looked a bit all over the place. Say for maybe a few minutes in the second half, Jones seemed to get a few nice touches, but he was going nowhere with them. Origi for me is one of the. I hate to see him in the team now, and that, look, it's not having a dig at it. It sounds very harsh and it sounds like a dig, but I just find when I'm seeing Origi now, I'm not seeing any spark out of him. Now, we're not seeing any spark out of our front three lately either, but when he's the next sort of taxi on the rank, you'd like to see a little bit more, and it worries me when he's in the team. But yeah, I'd agree with that. You know, Mane off the pace. Mane's hit the wall, you know what I mean? He didn't have a summer. He was off at that AFCON, only finished about 2 weeks before the season started. So I suppose it's only natural maybe that he's sort of hitting a bit of a brick wall. He's done a lot. He did put a lot into the earlier part of the season, but I just think there's, you know, our small squad maybe is catching up on us now at this stage. That's what I put it down to.
Okay. Just going through a couple, like Danny says Lallana and Jones were ghosts, but Fab was a liability. Just touching on the midfield, will people finally agree Origi is not good enough? I'm going to go on to Origi as we move up the pitch, JJ, because I have a little bit of a theory over him. Stephen says the finish in our team is shocking, need to look at themselves, can't hear a barn door. That's a fair point, although I think their keeper makes 3 decent saves, although they are straight at him. There's small windows they have to hit when you're that close to goal. But just going through the side, right, so I'll tell you what, to be fair, let's start with Adrian, right? So he comes into the team. If you remember last week, myself, you and Grizz done a show on the season so far, and we'll probably have our second part of that tomorrow night. I think if you're available, we're doing a bit of admin on the show, but we'll probably do our second version of that tomorrow. But we talked about him being a bit ropey, but having a really good 7-8 games and getting us through a period without Alisson. And look, he doesn't do much wrong tonight, but he makes a brilliant save from Willian. He gets up and claims it. We try play it out. Fabinho was lax on the ball. Willian hits it. It's a good shot, but it's straight at him, and he fumbles it into the net. And it goes from the sublime to ridiculous within a couple of minutes. And although Chelsea were on top at the time, they were pressing well and they were playing well. You don't need that from a goalkeeper. You just need him to just save that, push it away, do anything, and we probably get through to half-time 0-0 because there wasn't much in the game after that, I felt.
Yeah, exactly. It was a very close game and it was very tight. And look, it was that one howler, let's say, by Adrian. And I think it's something that maybe Phil touched on this on some of the shows before, that Adrian is what he is. You know, he's not, you know, the top keeper. He's not in the top bracket of keepers, but he's a decent level. But he does have a mistake in him. And tonight, I think we just saw, you know, maybe a bit of concentration that was gone. I didn't think he was great on the second one either, to be honest. But you know, he is what he is. He's not a great, not that he's not a great keeper. He's not a top keeper. And while we spoke on the show last week, the early season review, that he got by not being Mignolet with the trust of the fans. You know, you know, he's not. It doesn't mean that he's not faultless. You know what I mean? And look, he had a decent enough game, I thought, other than the 2 goals, and that sounds ridiculous. He makes a few good saves. He touches one onto the crossbar later on. That was a great save. You know, I just think he is what he is. He's a decent keeper. He's not a great keeper, and he does have the odd mistake in him. First goal, as you say, he makes a great save, and then straight away we're 1 down. And you don't want, it's similar to Atletico away. You don't want to be going 1 down away against a top team. Now, Chelsea aren't the team they were before. We all know that. They're a team, there are a lot of kids in there, and then they have a lot of aging players. But when I saw their team, I was a bit worried when I seen Giroud, Willian and Pedro up front. I'd have much rather have been dealing with a Tammy Abraham and a Mason Mount earlier, you know what I mean, rather than those experienced forwards. And I think, you know, Willian did cause us a fair few problems. Giroud did cause us problems. Pedro did cause us problems. But Adrian, he done okay, but, you know, makes the mistake and gets punished for it. That's what happens.
No, he does. He gets punished. He makes a mistake, and he doesn't have the he's not fortunate that it screams across and hits the post or goes wide.
Yeah.
It goes in the side netting. People have pointed out that the link hasn't gone up on Twitter yet. It has gone up now for the YouTube link. There seems to be a problem with Twitter and Periscope tonight, so I've put the YouTube link up there. So it's very important that you like that YouTube video at the moment. Follow us, subscribe to us, hit the bell icon, and you will get all our stuff there. But Periscope, by the looks of it, is down tonight, so we're only on YouTube tonight. But I have put that link onto Twitter now to let people know. But look, he is unfortunate. He makes a great save from Giroud that he tips onto the bar.
Yeah.
But look, it's one of those nights for the goalkeeper. I don't think, he lets that goal in, but I don't think that's the biggest talking point of the night. When you go through the back four, I thought Van Dijk was okay. Gomez made a couple of slips, but like that happens. I thought Nico Williams was very good, particularly in the first half, getting forward. But Andy Robertson struggles. And Andy Robertson struggles for me because he doesn't have Mane in front of him. They have such a good relationship. And to double down on that, he has Divock Origi in front of him. And I'm going to skip the midfield for a minute. I'm going to go to Origi because I felt Mane looked lost on the right because he's so used to playing left and creating from there. And when he gets in on the left, if you notice, in the first half, he jinks past a couple and tries to bend one in the far corner.
Yeah.
But even in that little flash, he looks so much better on the left.
He comes alive because he knows where he is and where he wants to be.
Exactly. But Andy Robertson struggles. But I'm just going to skip the midfield for a minute because I will go back to him. I thought Minamino tried really hard. He'd go a few really nice touches. He linked play quite well when he could. He probably should have scored first half when he lets that ball drop and takes a touch instead of hitting the first time. But Divock Origi for me, this fella looks like, and we've heard from James Milner how laid back that this fella is now. But this fella looks to me, and I know he signed the contract, but he looks to me like a player that he knows he's on the way out of Liverpool Football Club because tonight it was just he was getting the ball on the feet, coming back, knocking it back to the fullback. He goes past Azpilicueta once and puts the ball in the box, but then the second half, one drops to him. He's in the box, 1-on-1 with the defender, and he literally holds the ball up until Chelsea get fucking 10 men back in the box. He looks so off the pace. Like Galeno says, Robertson looks tired. He never gets a rest, need a backup left back. That's a fair point. But Origi doesn't give him. Origi doesn't give him much help there tonight. He doesn't, come inside and let Robertson get beyond them. And I just thought it was really poor from Divock Origi tonight.
It was terrible. I mean, and look, I'll be horrified if he's still at the club next season. And again, it might sound harsh. I just don't think. After last season, I think Divock had a chance, to be. He became a cult hero last season for what he done, and that was excellent. And he was in a position where, we didn't sign a backup to the front three, and he was essentially given a new contract. Now, look, we all know that was just to protect his value, that he wasn't going to leave. He was given that, and he was given a chance, and I just don't think he's kicked on this season. And I know you're right. Milner says he's very relaxed and laid back. Well, he looks too laid back and relaxed. He doesn't look to have any hunger. He doesn't look to be trying to make a position his own. Really baffling. I thought he could have been in the summer. My take on this was, if I'm not going to sign someone, I'm okay with that, because I thought Origi had given himself that stepping stone that he could really push on, and he just hasn't done it. I think that the lad said it last night on the club. His value is going to be at an all-time high. Well, maybe not as high as it would have been in the summer, but maybe now is the time to cash in. He's a good player, don't get me wrong. He's just, I don't think he's suited to what we need.
I don't think so either. I think off the left-hand side we need to be more creative, and I think up front he needs to link the play better, and I don't think it suits him. When you play balls over the top, fair enough, he can get on the end of some, but he just looked like somebody that was like, I'm just going through the motions here. That's the way he looked. And, we all talk about, we left a couple of players out and we put a player. If that was me or you or any other player, like Minamino there, Dylan says he loved the way Minamino always wanted the ball. And you can see, all right, we've been beaten tonight, but you can see from Minamino that, do you know what, he could come on against the Bournemouth or an Everton or a City or whoever and let it go and say, give me the ball. I'll get into these little pockets and I'll try and make things move. Now, it might go wrong because he hasn't had an awful lot of time with these players, and it takes time on actual football pitches, playing competitive games, to get a proper link with players, because it's way more competitive than your training session. As much as people go on about training sessions are like matches, they're not. They're simply not. The whole area you're in, the atmosphere you're in, it changes everything. But But he just looks so. He should be breaking his bollocks to say, you know what, I'm going out on this left wing and I'm going to make him think, geez, we're playing Bournemouth and he had a brilliant game there. I can't leave him out. Because Klopp is well known for, if you play well, you keep the short. You know, that kind of way.
And it's how Origi got in last season. He came brought in from the cold in the derby game, scores the goal, scores the winner in the derby, and then is part of the squad again. You know, to me, look, I will be not disgusted, but I would much rather be seeing Minamino getting minutes in games for the rest of the season than Origi. Because I think Minamino, whoever said that, Minamino, I think he is, look, he's still learning his teammates' movements and all that, but I think he is shown for a lot. He's trying to press. He's not doing anything spectacular. You know, he hasn't done anything to get us out of a seat, but the effort is there, and I'm not seeing that from Divock. And maybe it's harsh, maybe the effort is in Divock, but I'm just not seeing that at the moment.
Like Maverick says there, the main issue is we don't play to Origi's strengths, sadly. He has to fit into the system in a way that doesn't suit his real strengths. I fully agree with you. His main strengths will be down the channels, chasing balls, you know, strong, quick, facing up defenders and then trying to do something. But even in that tonight, he beats Azpilicueta, all ends up early in the first half. He puts one across the box. Mane gets ahead of the ball a little bit and, you know, can't quite make the header. He has a nearly exact situation in the box in the second half, and he literally stands on the ball for 3-4 seconds as if, and I'm saying, get at him quick, shift it on your right, and there's no one near you, and you can have a shot at goal. And even when he tries to come inside, then there's too many people there. You know, it's just one of those, and it's frustrating for me. Listen, the form we're in, I've said it. I don't know whether it's we're being lethargic. I don't know whether the legs have fallen off us a little bit. Like people are saying there, you know, we need this player. We need, you know, a couple of players we need in. The lack of transfer movement in the summer is catching up on us now. I don't know. But the one thing that sticks in my head is, and I always remember this, there was talk of Klopp was going to put them through extreme paces for the second week of that break, and I don't know whether they've come off the back of that, and it's like the weariness is still in the legs, and Klopp knows it, and he's trying to mix it up a little bit, and it didn't work against Watford, and you know he's probably just going to have to go, right, okay, we're just going to have to muddle through this. And Bournemouth is a good chance to muddle through this and get us back, because I do feel 4 or 5 games after Klopp does that to them, you usually see the benefit. You know, Stephen Hackett says play Origi as a target man, he's not a winger. But do Liverpool play with a target man?
You know that, yeah.
So, but look, Minamino, I thought he tried really hard. Mane looked a bit lost, but, you know, still tried till the death, and I've no worries over Mane, I really don't. You know, people have said, oh, Firmino's this, Salah that. I don't have worries. I think once the legs get going again, and I did think it was complete complacency. I'm not too sure it is. But I do think we took a risk against Watford and it didn't work. And I think we went out there tonight and we carried too many players. Now, I'm not saying that they were all players that usually wouldn't play, because Fabinho you could make an argument over. But to me, listen, we were trying to get out of the FA Cup 2 rounds ago, let's be honest about it. And we didn't manage it. We tried to get out of it in the last round. We done our best and we didn't get out of it. And tonight, I understand people saying, oh, but look, we're in the 5th round. You get in there, you're in a quarter final and you're this. But at the end of the day, people are pointing out, oh, the squad this and the squad that. We get through to the next round, but it's another game we have to play. And I understand that this league we're miles ahead, but it's still games to win. You know what I mean? There's still objectives. And I always said the FA Cup would only come into focus if we managed to get through this round by taking a bit of a risk, and it came off. It didn't come off, and I'm absolutely fine with it, to be perfectly honest with you. I've said it from day one. Give me the league. I've said it. I don't care if we win a coin toss between now and the end of the season. Just give me the league.
Couldn't agree more.
Galeno says this is why City. Sorry, it's gone on my screen. Galeno. I'll try get it back. Maverick says, totally agree. As I said, Origi needs to play through the middle, not on the wing. I agree with you. But again, if you put him through the middle, is he going to link up play the way we want him to? Or are we going to have to start playing long balls down channels? And usually when we do play long balls down channels, it's into feet. It's, you know what I mean? It's educated balls we're playing, not just putting them down channels for fellas to chase. Let me see. The lack of effort and urgency in the last 15 minutes was alarming. I think, it says Dunks, and I think, Keith, the lack of urgency and thing in the last 15 minutes was quite telling in a team that just went, we're still getting back to what we need to get back here. And do you know what? Not why should we put it in, but let's just play this out. And if we manage to get one back, we might nick another one. But if that's the way it goes, that's the way it goes. Because it was quite telling, Keith, on the sideline, right? On the sideline, it's Klopp doesn't look animated whatsoever.
No. Yeah,
Like
and didn't at any stage.
Sorry, Dunks is saying there Liverpool fans nonchalantly giving up trophies is laughable. I'm not nonchalantly giving anything up. What I'm saying is you have priorities in the season. And if I'll put it to you this way, if we get through that game and we add another game in there, right, in the FA Cup, which is another weekend game, which takes Palace out, which will probably mean we'd have to play a Champions League, play on the weekend, probably play Palace on a Tuesday night, and then play another Crunch League game 4 days later. You know what I mean? I'll tell you what I'm taking. If we have to go out and we're clear with just league games and Champions League, I'm absolutely fine with that. I've no issue with that. I'm not nonchalantly giving up trophies.
Oh no!
But priorities,
and in fairness, I will
nonchalantly
give up I'll nonchalantly sacrifice the FA Cup and the League Cup every year because they're a load of shite. Don't care about them. Jurgen Klopp's first time getting past this year. This is his first time getting past the fifth round, is it? Or getting past the third? I don't know. Absolutely no respect for this cup. Now, context is the thing here that we thought a few weeks ago. We thought we could go unbeaten. We thought we could win everything. And look, I got swept up in that. I'll put my hand up and say I got swept up in that. But that's arrogant. That's, arrogance on their behalf. You know what I mean? We don't have the squad to do that. We ran the bollocks off ourselves for the first so many months of that season to get us in a position. And we've done that. And I think, personally, that the levels have just dropped a bit and they can't get it back into their legs after that break.
I agree with you, and I think like the pace we played at tonight, like to me, felt like it was we didn't play at a lightning pace, and we had players there that could do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Dunks is saying the club exists to win trophies. The club exists to win one trophy this season, and the eye on the prize is that trophy. And then you say that's the monkey off the back. This is huge. This league title, absolutely huge, and. I don't want to sound like someone that goes fuck the FA Cup because I'm not really like that. I want Liverpool to win every game, but I can still see where we're coming from when it comes to the FA Cup and the League Cup. The League Cup was more enforced because of the situation we were put in, but the FA Cup for me, and it has to be for Klopp where he's going. Look, and there's no doubt he's had a discussion with the owners going, I'm writing off that League Cup and I need to.
Yeah.
And if the FA Cup comes down to it, and even if we're miles clear. We have so many games. They're saying to him, you just go and win that league. We don't give a fuck after that. Right? And they might be even saying it with regards to the Champions League. Back a Champions League up with a league title, and then we can go and we can do our business in the summer and probably go and look at the both of them and improve the squad. And maybe it bumps us in a round or two in the League Cup and FA Cup next season. Dylan says there, it's Saturday that looks for the bounce back. Do you agree, Keith, that Saturday is a game for 3 points? And even if we get the 3 points, I think that the level of performance, the level of intensity, the crispness of the pass, the sharpness of what we're doing will all be under the microscope come Saturday. Yeah,
to me, that's what it's all about. And look, I agree with you. We're not, even though we said I don't give a shit about cups, I don't. But the league is what we want. And if we can get a performance and 3 points in at Anfield, I think that lifts. Surely Klopp is going to go through some of these, you know what I mean? And let's not, we can't blame Lovren for tonight. It was easy to blame him for Watford. We can't blame him for tonight. Virgil was in both games. Maybe Virgil needs a kick up the arse. Maybe Robbo needs a kick up the arse. Maybe, Sadio, Mo, all these boys all need a little bit of a rocket up them. But they've done great so far. So maybe just get in, home game against Bournemouth. Look, everybody says this. We all know. If you could pick a team to play, Bournemouth at home is the one, because they don't play that defensive 10 men behind the ball nonsense. They are very open, and if we can just pick we're not looking to reinvent the wheel. We're just looking to lift our performances slightly, and we can really get at them. And if we do that, it can get us motoring. We always come back sloppy from breaks. Usually, these warm weather training and all that. Now I know this one was different. It was they went off and then had an intense training program, but we just haven't got back into it. But I think we just get back on Saturday, forget about tonight, get the 3 points and a good performance, and then we'll just pick it up again. Phil mentioned that on the pod last night as well. Another good point was the closer we're getting to this title, the more it is going to play. It's like when a striker is trying to get. I remember Michael Owen was going for his 100th goal and he was stuck on 99 for a while. It happens to players, good players, great players and teams. The monkey off the back is the most important thing this season. we would love, trophies, Braid's winning. Man City win the last 3 Carling Cups and it sets them up every year to go on a run and win more. But we could win the Carling Cup, the FA Cup, year on year on year. And what would it make us? It'd make us Arsenal. We need to win that league, and that's all we need to be concentrating on. Get that over the line, and then the Champions League, if we're still in it, concentrate on that then. But look, the FA Cup, unfortunately, it's gone. Would have liked to win it, but we didn't. Couldn't care less now.
Yeah, it's like Maverick. I love Maverick because he argues with me and I love it. Like he says, he's a bit confused now because the Premier League is already won. He believes we have the league already. To his mind, we've run out of steam and just need to hope we can recharge enough to have a solid end to the season. I fully agree with you because I thought it was complacency, but watching Klopp's demeanour on the sideline today and his reaction after the Watford game, and the way someone mentioned there, the way we weren't absolutely hopping off Chelsea for the last 15 to try to get back into it. Yeah. I think it's not a mental thing. I think it's a physical thing. And I remember in the past Liverpool coming off breaks and you're going, oh, fucking, we 2 draws there, or we dogged a couple of games, then we clicked and we went. And like the league is done. The league is done. I've no shadow of a doubt about that. At least 19 points clear with 9 games to go. There's no chance of us not winning this league. But the priorities will always be the league, and quite a distance behind, I believe, is the Champions League. And if the Champions League is quite a distance behind, where's the FA Cup? Do you know that kind of way? Like, let's look at the midfield, right? Because he puts Jones in there, right? Who's not a regular starter for Liverpool. He's played in the Cups. He's impressed. Don't get me wrong. He's impressed, but he's played against Everton, who were muck at the time. They've improved since then. He's played against Shrewsbury. He's played a couple of League Cup games, and he's been good. League-wise, I think he's come on at Bournemouth. He may have come on one other time, I think, as a substitute. But you look at that. He's not a first-team player for me.
No.
Right? Lallana, to me, looks like his legs are gone completely. Right? Slow on the ball, too many touches, loses the ball and cannot get back. There was one stage in the first half he was chasing somebody and you could see him calling Gomez to come over and chase the fella because he just hadn't got it. And for me, like, Liverpool's midfield always seems to know where they have to be, when they have to be there, and what they have to do in every situation. There was a lot of Lallana and Jones for me looking around tonight and trying to get that marker off Fabinho.
Yeah.
And there was too much of it going on. There was too much hesitancy, hard word to say, in what they were trying to do, because they were, instead of pressing the ball on nowhere to be, they were having to go and check where the rest of the team were before they went and done what they were doing, which was allowing Chelsea numerous times to play 1, 2, 3 passes and they were in our back 4. So, talk to me about Jones, talk to me about Lallana, because I felt that Jones is on a learning curve. Lallana, for me, it's, he does good in certain games, but today from the start I just thought he was poor.
Yeah, I agree. A bit harsh on Lallana because I think he's done okay lately. He had a good cameo there against Watford, and he has been playing decent. But I agree, he didn't really get into it tonight. And that Chelsea midfield wasn't the best either. Like there was no. It's not like they were up against a team that was going to constantly have them under pressure. I mean, that was an 18-year-old young foot midfield for Chelsea, and he got the run. Was made look a sensational midfielder, and let's be clear, he's not.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So there's no reason why Lallana couldn't have maybe been a bit more forceful. And you're right, he took that lead off Fabinho. And if there's one thing we've learned about Fabinho, it's this: he doesn't come back quick from an injury. He gets a knock. He could be wrote off for the rest of this season, and might be next season before we see him back to his best again. So he's in there. You've then got Jones in there, who's right. He's the junior member. We know he's got a bit of cockiness about him, and that he wants to be in the team, But ultimately, he's only an 18 or a 19-year-old kid. And then you've Lallana, who is hit and miss. Sometimes he's good and sometimes he's not. But I think he's on his way out of the club. And it just didn't work tonight. It just didn't work.
I think the lack of organisation in what the three of them were trying to do didn't help Lallana, because if Lallana has a focused job to do in a midfield, you see him pressing and other players back him up, and he might nick one, or he might just make a fella go off balance and then we nick it, and then he's and he can be effective in that way. But looking at like Fabinho, for me, started awful.
Yeah.
slow on the ball, lethargic. He grew into it a little bit as the game went on, and then kind of went back out of it. And I think you're right. I think him coming back from that injury, he doesn't look the same player. He looks like do you know what he looks like? He looks like he's running within himself. And I seen one
Yeah.
bit. I seen one bit where I think it was the first half, and the ball, I think went out for a throw in on the far side or maybe a free kick, and he went to run towards it to get it, and he looked like a fella that was, like you're running and you're trying not to stretch yourself because you're worried something might go.
Yeah.
And I can't, Phil Quinn says he can't remember the last time Fabinho played well, and that's not a bad point.
It's a good point, yeah.
And then, but Chelsea played 6 at the back. Is that our kryptonite? I don't know, but I think we usually get the ball. We fizz it to our fullbacks. We back them up. We get little sections of play going, little patterns of play, and we can open teams up, or we can just pressure until we break them.
Yes.
People are asking when is Henderson back, needed back ASAP. I fully agree with that.
Oh, yeah.
I think although Fabinho was central in what we do, in the position he plays, I think Henderson runs that midfield from where he plays. That's my opinion on it. People don't like Henderson. People will lash it over Henderson. But I just think, and don't get me wrong, Henderson was okay against Norwich, wasn't great against Atletico Madrid. But when you look at the midfield since he hasn't been there, it's not being good because we don't seem to have. Henderson seems to affect more players on that pitch than anybody else.
That's what I was going to say. It's not just the midfield that doesn't perform when Henderson's not there. You can see it. The right side of our team gets impacted. You've said it all along. You said that the first game of the season against Norwich, you were at the game and you were looking at it. You could see he was allowing Salah to stay up front. He was allowing Trent to get up there, and he was covering in. He was plugging gaps all over the place. He's such an important player. And I think, without getting this onto it, Henderson this, Henderson that, a lot of fans do not like him and will never like him, will never change their opinion of him. But I think, his absence is proving how important he is to the way we play. People don't like the way Klopp sets up his midfield, but they need to just accept that it's functional midfield that Klopp plays, and he plays that for a reason. Coutinho was in there. That type of player doesn't really suit what Klopp wants, because he wants his two, Henderson and Wijnaldum, to be doing a lot of defensive work, a lot of leg work, a lot of running, and a lot of covering the gaps.
And JJ is asking when is Hendo back. He's due back for the Atletico game. That's as far as I know. Go on.
There or thereabouts.
Yeah, go on.
But they're the types of players that Klopp relies on. If he doesn't have Henderson and Wijnaldum, he'll want Milner in there. Players that will do the job they're told, won't be overly going forward, will do their defensive work. And that's why Oxlade-Chamberlain and Keita, they'll come in, but they can get criticised a bit that they're not doing the defensive work. He wants them. If he can evolve the midfield, I think he would love to. But the way the team sets up, I just don't think it's an easy job for him to do. I think he'd rather just have the ones that he can trust in there. And when they're not there, we miss them. I mean, Wijnaldum and Henderson were missed tonight.
Jared Cahill says Klopp is definitely taking a hit in the FA Cup. Maverick says that this Henderson is our saviour. I'm not buying it. We have a fatigue issue that we need to work out the system. Hendo or no Hendo.
Oh, we certainly do have a fatigue thing, and someone touched on the Robertson thing. He's not got any cover at Robertson, and the type of player he is, he does looks bollocks tired the last while. Yeah,
no, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like Henderson comes in and saviour. What I'm saying to you is, even if Henderson comes in fatigued, I expect Henderson to come in and do more in a game than say Lallana does. Be more vocal towards Fabinho, be more vocal to the front three, be more vocal, and literally tell people this is not fucking good enough. And players try it tonight, there's no doubt about that, but I still think Klopp's demeanour on the side of the pitch and the way we just played out the game, and if something happens, it happens. There's definitely something going on there. Danny Emery says functional midfield only works when the front three play well, otherwise you're hoping for a 0-0. We had chances tonight, because someone else said there, if we actually take our chances first half, we're probably talking about a completely different game, and that's a fair point. No, don't get me wrong, like Chelsea have chances. You know,
Yeah.
there's one across the box that Giroud will tap in, but Nico Williams makes a great interception.
Very good at the back, yeah.
The William one where just before the goal that saved really good. There's a flick on at the front post from Chelsea that I put it this way: if John Terry's playing, he's in on the back post and he's burying that. But then you look at ours, we have a chance within the first couple of minutes. The keeper makes 3 quick saves. Mane gets free on the left side and puts a good shot in. You know, there's plenty of chances there. I just think Chelsea a little bit more clinical. Yeah, absolutely, because they score 2 and we don't. But looking at the game, I just think that we're taking a bit of a hit on it, as I think was Jer said earlier. Stephen Hackett says we need to talk about how the front three miss so many chances, not clinical enough at times. That's an extremely fair point, because that's one thing I've labelled at Liverpool. Even when we were winning game after game after game, if we were clinical enough, we're resting players way more, because we just go, we're 4-0 up after 60 here, lads. You and you have to come off. Whereas a lot of games we're 1-0 up and you're kind of looking for the second. Let me see. Naby and Ox would have bossed that game tonight. Naby Keita's not fit. So, you know, Graham Souness would have fucking bossed that game tonight, but he wasn't there. You know what I mean? Naby Keita, and I've said it, and everyone knows my views on Naby Keita, an outstanding footballer with all the tools, doesn't go on the pitch enough. You know, plays against West Ham, substitute because of circumstance, and then isn't available at Watford slight knock, isn't available tonight. Will he be available against Bournemouth? I don't know, but that's the problem we have in Naby Keita. Let me see. Oh, if we beat Atleti, I would have Jeff Hardy from the under-23s up top for every game against the bottom half of this team. Is this the young lad Hardy? I know he came on against Shrewsbury. Is he banging them in?
He looks about 43. I want to see his birth cert before he plays any more under 23 games.
All right.
Big old man's face on him.
Kev O'Sullivan says, we were all right in the first half, second half. We looked panicked and frustrated. Yeah,
panicked. I don't know, because I don't think there was much urgency, to be honest. Like, and I think, you know, a bit of frustration, but there was no sort of we weren't throwing any kitchen sink. You mentioned that, and, you know, he put Salah at the end of the game. He had Salah, Firmino, Mane, and still had Minamino in there. But it wasn't like we were going at them or we were throwing kitchen sinks or that. I think it was just get in there. If something drops to you, try and take it. But there didn't seem to be any urgency. You know, they can't all be, you know, fatigued. Do you know that way? Like, it just didn't look like there was any. Not that they went out to lose, and that sounds stupid. You know what I mean? They didn't go out to lose. Well, I'm not saying they went out and threw the game or anything. I just think they, and I could be guessing, plucking it from the sky. They know we have to get the win. If we win this tonight, great. But the big one is Saturday. And then the next big one is next week. You know what I mean? This one isn't on the list of priorities.
Yeah, we have Bournemouth on Saturday. We've Atletico Madrid in midweek, and then we play Everton the following Monday. And that's where that's where all eyes are on. And let's be perfectly honest about it. Teams use games to build your fitness back up. That's why pre-season is there. You'll train as much as you want, but games are used as ways of getting them up. Look, I want to go on to Bournemouth, but if anybody has any random questions, because we like random questions and Keith's quite good at them, but especially if it comes to cabbage water and air fryers. But if anybody has any random questions, absolutely go and throw them in when you feel like it. It doesn't look like Periscope is working tonight or Twitter, so we're only on YouTube. So if you want, you can copy the YouTube link and throw it onto your Twitter feed. That's absolutely fine. But look, it's completely up to you. But random questions are welcome. Darren Hazel said he would have played Origi through the middle. Owen Burke says he loves Keita, and it's a shame things haven't worked out so far. But we have kept injury-prone players on the books for far too long. And someone else, I think it was Donk, said he would move them on in the summer. I would be against moving them on in the summer, unless a ridiculous offer came in. You know, something that matched what we paid from, something along them lines.
Yeah, but and you're not going to get that.
I'd still like to see him get another season. But
I'd like to see him, but the problem we have next year is the AFCON is back mid-season, so he's going to be gone for 6 weeks of the season. You know, so even if he does get a run of games without injuries, which his track record proves that he won't, and I hate to say that because I'm a huge Keita fan. I want to see nothing more than Keita, you know, in the team and being the player we all hope he can be. But he's just not on the pitch enough, you know, and it's even if he does have a good pre-season, even if he does stamp his authority in the team, come the Christmas period, he's going to be gone. You
Mm.
know, this is a nightmare for him, I think, this AFCON getting moved back.
Yeah.
That's my thing. Would I sell him? I would rather keep him and see him come good, but I think he is literally in the last chance saloon now next season.
Owen Burke wants to offer Keita to Dortmund as part of a Sancho deal. Maverick says he's sure Klopp will learn from this for next season. He always learns, let's be honest about it. Dunk said Milner looked like an old lad when he came on tonight. Milner, I'm surprised, is around at the minute because as far as I know, he was carrying a knock and still was up and right until the Watford game. So
maybe and he looked it.
Yeah, and he did. He looked way off it when he came on. But again, if you have a player on the bench that is way off, why are you bringing him on? You must be bringing him on to put 25 minutes in his legs.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of way. Naby needs to sit out the AFCON to get fit for his career. Maybe a case, Maverick, where he turns around in December, January and says, I'm not fit. But you've seen the way Naby Keita is being treated by his national team not 6 months ago. Let me see. If Naby could be used as a make way to land Havertz, he'd do it, says Kev O'Sullivan. Keith just jumping quickly onto random. Dylan says on a scale of 1 to 10, being slice pan 10, being a piece of charcoal. No, don't forget all that. What Dylan said. He's talking shy. Listen, what way do you like your toast?
So saying what? We're not going with a scale here now.
Well, one being the bread is just bread. 10 is burnt to a crisp.
3 or 4. Yeah. I don't like it burnt. I don't like anything burnt. Look, I don't like barbecues or anything because I don't like.
You don't like barbecues?
Shit. No, I don't like burnt stuff. I don't like charred shit. Do you know what I mean? Like,
you can do a barbecue without charring it.
I've never met one yet. You know what I mean? Now I live in an apartment, so I don't do barbecues. I'm only ever at barbecues.
I'll have you over to my house one. Do you want to come over?
But yeah, I'll come over. But if you're doing a barbecue, I'll bring spice burgers and cabbage.
Nice one, yeah. I'll do your barbecue.
And a sandwich maker and an air fryer.
Yeah, you can bring whatever you want. Bring some people as well.
I will. Yeah. But no, I'm not into burnt stuff. So toast, I would have it at the whiter scale of the spectrum.
Okay.
But toasted, you know what I mean? I don't want it bleeding.
Well, I'd say I'd probably go about 5 or 6 because that's still not burnt. It's just nice brown, nice toasted. I love
golden hue.
I love toast done on one side.
Yeah, that's how we have it here. Yeah,
under the grill. I like it. Paul Hardwick says, "Is Klopp learning?" Paul's getting a little bit worried about Saturday now. Don't panic. Relax. It'll be absolutely fine.
It will.
Let me see. Dylan says if it's a tree, you must be just putting it under a hairdryer. Gav,
on the radiator. Put on the radiator for a few minutes.
Stephen O'Connor says, Gav, who would you say we need to buy this summer? It's a very interesting question. You know, it looks like Timo Werner will happen. There's still loads of talk about Sancho. There's still talk about Kai Havertz. I think if it was me, I think Lovren leaves. I think Lallana leaves. I have a feeling Origi goes. And I think Shaqiri goes. And if Shaqiri and Origi go, I think he brings in Werner and one more.
Yeah.
But I would love to see him get somebody that, and I know it's hard to get, but somebody that could play either fullback. Now, I think Nico Williams will progress great. The 2 left backs I'm not too sure on. So if it was to prioritise, I'd like someone at left back. Jamal Lewis is being linked at Norwich. He's really good. But
he's just a left back.
But I don't mind that.
But I don't think Klopp is overly into that sort of carry on.
Well, then he might have to look at centre half / left back.
Well, that's what someone mentioned about relegated players, and Tyrone Mings was mentioned. Now, Tyrone Mings wouldn't be bad because he can play centre back and left back, but I think we'd be looking at someone more like a Philip Max of Augsburg, that's a left midfielder or a left back. You know what I mean? We could look at something along them lines. Someone who I wouldn't mind seeing there for left back if he likes, and he'd never move. He was linked to us before. Jonas Hector at Cologne can play defensive midfield, left back. You know, I think Klopp likes these players that can do more than one. Trying to get one that can do both fullbacks could be hard.
Well, you see, the thing is,
Bournemouth get to mention all the time. Adam Smith, he's actually decent at it, but it's not really sexy, is it?
No, but you see, the thing is, you have to look, if you're going to go and say, I want someone to play centre back and full back, can you find a centre half that can play centre half and do what Trent does at right back or Robertson does at left?
I'd be looking at it not for it to play centre back as well. No, I'd be looking for, if you're looking for someone to play both, I'd rather have a full-back that can play centre-back rather than the other way around. Like what City tried to do with Kyle Walker. It didn't work. But they looked at Kyle Walker as a 6'1" or whatever, quick. We can turn him into a centre-half rather than looking at John Stones and saying, right, we can put him full-back. And I know I've just said Tyrone Mings, but Tyrone Mings played left-back for a lot of his career and then moved to centre-back.
But against that, you have to look at, say, a left-back, say, that wouldn't be looking to play a hell of a lot of games, because Robinson's your first choice. I'd go for your man off Southampton. I've said it for 2 years now. The left back off Southampton that used to be with Chelsea.
Oh, Bertrand. Yeah. He's a bit old now.
I don't
He's
care.
About 30
I don't care. I'd put him in there and I'd say, listen, you're going to play X amount of games, and he'd be delighted. And someone
that can do it and has done it is Nathaniel Klein, but I don't know if he's dirtied his bib or whatever.
No, he can only play right back, and for me, he can play left back as well, but he's not good enough.
Not on a regular
forward.
basis.
Not good. Kevin Sullivan says nothing wrong with signing Jamal Lewis if you're looking to play 4-2-3-1 and play a 4 and a front 4. Jamal Lewis is really, really good. The fella on the other side at the right back is really good as well. Nathan Aki is a shout for centre back, left back, says Kev. Lou backs that up with Nathan Aki as well. But look, how much are Bournemouth gonna pay for Lovren, says Dylan O'Rourke.
That's a straight swap for Aki.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know where he ends up. Paul Hardwick says Marmite or Bovril on toast. Bovril is amazing. I've had Bovril.
Marmite. I love Bovril.
I've had Bovril. Okay, Marmite I've never had. Toast.
No, I've never. I tasted Marmite and it was disgusting. But I'm a big fan of Bovril. Yeah, but I've never had it on toast. Must give it a go.
Maverick's asking what about that kid from Birmingham? I have heard his name mentioned a couple of times. It's gone out of my head, but I know
Jude Bellingham.
Yeah, I know there's a shitload of teams after him. Loads of them after him. And he could command him a big fee for a 16-17-year-old.
Birmingham or Scabby, like you'd get him for nothing.
Yeah, well, we'd have to
get him for a coin.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. If anyone has any more random questions, throw them in. But looking forward to Bournemouth at the weekend. So my only worry about this one is it's a 12:30.
I fucking hate them.
Right now, I hate them now for two reasons. One, it's too fucking early to be playing football, and two, it doesn't give a supporter the chance to get a good few gargles in them and go in and go mental.
And it can be quite flat. Flat.
What I will say though is, I think the atmosphere might be really, really good on this Saturday at 12:30, simply because supporters will be going, beating at Watford, gone out of the FA Cup, Atletico's coming up on the weekend. This team need a lift, because anybody watching, we all have a sorry, Paul Hardwick says give it a go, Bovril is the future. And Owen Buck says Vinegra from Wolves. Actually, I'll take Vinegra over Bertrand. Vinegra is a fantastic footballer. But anybody watching this, and we're debating this all night, like Maverick's debating it with me, you're debating it, there's loads, Donks is on there, and he's debating brilliant stuff on the chat tonight. And even though we're only on YouTube only, it's brilliant tonight, and thanks a million for that. But anybody watching that, Keith, is going, these lads look like they need a lift. And it's not because they're down in the dumps and they've nothing to play for, or it's just like they just need, like if you're fucking running and it's starting to get you, and someone goes, come on, keep going, and they encourage you, and you get that extra burst and you go again. I think the 54,000 people going into that ground, 50,000 which would be Liverpool fans on Saturday at 12:30, should be going, these lads need us now. We've needed them, and they've picked us up and put us on their shoulders for 6-7 months now. They need us. We need to put them on our shoulders now and push them right through this for the next half a dozen games to put us in an absolutely amazing position in the season. And exactly, I think that might lead to a really decent atmosphere on Saturday.
They should do, and it's very simplistic, you know what I mean, to say, the fans need to go in and do it for the team, but it's 100% true, because the opposite can have an absolute negative effect. The West Ham game, was it the West Ham game recently, and the atmosphere was absolute dire, and from watching it on the telly, and you could see it.
And then we went 2-1 down, and when we went 2-1 down, the crowd lifted, there was whistling, it was really intense, and we win the game.
Yeah, I mean, if you saw the videos of Atletico welcoming Airbus into their place last 2 weeks ago, unreal. I absolutely love all that, right? Fires in the street, bleeding like a trip through hell. I love all that. Now, we have them coming to us in a week's time or whatever. We need the crowd to be up on it. And Saturday, right, it's Bournemouth, it's an early kick-off, but you're right, they need to go in there with a positive and aggressive attitude. Do you know what I mean? And
4 wins from winning the league.
yeah, exactly. You know, look, I know hindsight's a great thing. We'll go back to the start of the season and put ourselves in this position. We'd be biting hands off to get that league title.
If someone said to me, Gav, we need to win 4 and there's 4 tickets available for each of the next 4, I'd be paying serious money.
Yeah,
you just can't get them. So you could see a good atmosphere coming.
Hopefully I can. You know, I think the problem with the Anfield atmosphere is, I think a lot of you don't have a go at the fans that go, but you know what I mean. Sometimes it's famous that the old main stand, you know, people in there can be a bit. They don't get into the swing of it or whatever. Well, everyone needs to get into it on Saturday. Good atmosphere, early kick-off, and really give the team that lift they need. Yeah. You know what I mean? Don't Liverpool. Be getting on anyone's back.
It's a defiant Liverpool. That's what you need.
Exactly,
because like, make no bones about it, there's media there that have had a great time since we got beaten by Watford. I'm sure they're doing the same tonight.
They'll be having a field day tonight.
You know, and let them. At the end of the day, that's all. But we should be coming out defiant on that. There's loads of there's loads of ways we can just go. Do you know what? Fuck you and fuck everyone. This is this is us, and we're going to do it. You know what I mean? And start putting teams to the sword again. Maverick says he still thinks some will be miffed by the FA Cup. There absolutely will be. There's no doubt about that. Owen Buck says them Storms are getting some serious overtime at the weekends. A lot of bollocks, aren't they? Like nothing during the week and then it just goes mental.
Yeah.
There's been loads of mention here about The Chase, and I did see The Chase being the TV show. I did see one earlier. Well, there was one earlier saying which day tripper would be stingy enough and take the lower offer.
You can't take the lower offer.
What would your approach be? Like
if you're on this one,
right? You're on The Chase, right? I give you 60 seconds. With what's your man's name?
Bradley
Walsh, isn't it? Right. So I give you 60 seconds with him. How many are you getting right?
Double figures, at least 12, 13. So I'm starting from a high base here.
You're messing.
Oh no, easy peasy.
It'd be near on impossible to do 12, 13 questions.
Do a quick, snappy, bang, 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 bang. 3 empty answers.
I'll tell you what. I'll give you 8. I'll give you 8 because I think 12.
I'm taking at least 10.
Right, I'll give you 10. So you go in with 10 grand, right?
10 grand.
And one of the people come out at the top of the Chase ladder there and they say, Keith, the higher offer is 80 grand.
Yeah.
The lower offer is 2 grand. What are you taking?
The 80 grand all day long.
Are you?
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Okay.
Not a bother.
Okay.
I'll take the 80 grand every day of the week. And if it was 10, if they were, I'd always take the highest offer, go for it. Because, you know, you only live once.
But no, hold on. You only live once. Would you be confident of getting back with the 80 grand?
Oh, yeah. I would, yeah.
Right.
And I'd be confident of winning it at the end as well.
Okay. Kaylee Tomlinson asks, forget Bovril and Marmite, what about Coke or Pepsi?
Pepsi. And that's a bit weird. Pepsi Max.
Right. I can say, if I go into a takeaway, fast food, Burger King, McDonald's, Pepsi all day. But if I'm buying cans of it, it's Coke. They're just
either or, yeah, they're both good.
Yeah. Dunk said The Chase, I wouldn't get 12 or 13 in a minute. Yeah, I think he's just spoofing us a bit.
I'm telling you, I would. I was.
Don't tell me you're a world champion or something, Matt.
No, but it could have been if I'd have put me heart and soul into it. It could have been.
You could have been general knowledge champion of the world.
I could have been, yeah.
Okay.
Who wants to be a millionaire and all that? I was asked numerous times, if I ever got on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, will you be me phone a friend? And I said, yeah, of course I will.
Oh, yeah. Well, then, listen, that
says it all.
That's complete another proof that, you know everything.
What more do you want? What more do you want?
Keith knows you have to answer the questions correctly, right?
100%. Oh, yeah, I'm telling you. Okay. You get in there, you go with the key to this is you go with your gut instinct on them and you spit it out. You don't second guess yourself.
All right.
Well, what's the capital? Paris.
Okay. Owen Book says some lad who won University Challenge and 15 to 1 in the same week wouldn't get 12 to 13 in a minute.
Easy.
Yeah.
Confidence. You have to have confidence in yourselves. You start doubting themselves. That's
Yeah.
where they fall down.
You need
You
to have
start doubting
self-confidence.
yourself.
Yeah. Dylan O'Rourke says Keith is the Carabao Quiz World Champion of Ireland.
Yeah.
Kaylee Tomlinson says agree. 100% Pepsi watered down in a restaurant is the one all day long, but definitely Coke in a can. Kaylee, see,
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
sound Kaylee is.
And them watered down machine Coke's always nice. So yeah, I do like
I
that.
love going in and saying, "Can I get Coke and no ice, please?"
It breaks the heart.
Oh yeah, it just kills them. Like
Yeah.
they have to go into their bleeding book and find out
Yeah.
what's the procedure here.
What do we do here?
Maverick says Pepsi takeaway or supermarket all day long. Coke only when someone else is buying. Well, cold Coke out of the fridge in a can is amazing. But somebody mentioned Club Orange, and Club Orange is a massive wild card because Club Orange is amazing.
Yeah.
Let me see. Bradley Walsh couldn't read out 12 or 13 in a minute, Keith.
Yeah,
But
no,
listen,
he'd have to up his game, because
right.
that's what you do. Is you make them improve. You put doubt in the chasers' heads then, and you have to get two chasers out then to try and catch you. You know what I mean? You just turn the game, you flip it on its head.
Okay, we've only a couple of minutes left, but I want to ask you, one, apart from yourself, which tripper do you think would get the most in the chase? And two, which tripper do you feel would take the low offer and leg it with it?
Who would get the most? I
think
would
Carl
say,
Torley would get it.
yeah,
Carl Torley knows everything.
he is a man of the world, isn't he?
He is he's not a man of the world. He barely leaves his immediate
he-
area, but he
Yeah, but
knows
he hears
shit.
a lot. He meets a lot of people.
He knows shit, doesn't he?
He does, yeah.
Yeah,
Who takes the scuttery offer?
Yeah, well, Carl, I think, earns the most. I think Carl knows a lot of stuff, and he's an extremely underrated individual. And I think he's very, very intelligent behind that facade that he puts up.
Yeah.
Who takes the low offer?
Who takes the low
I'd
one?
say when I think of low offer, I'm thinking of someone that just wants to get in, out, grab the money, and if we manage to win, it's a few quid in the back pocket, and we're out of here. So that's the thing I'm going for. I'm trying to think who just doesn't like.
You see, the low offer, the worst, the real shy bags are the ones that get offered minus.
Paul Brennan takes the low offer.
Brenzy's going for a Scaldy one, is he?
Brenzy takes a Scaldy one.
He just wants to get into the final chase.
From the time Bradley Walsh's mate picks him up in a taxi to go to the studio, Brenzy hates all this. He's like, this is stupid. I want out of here. And he just goes in and says, yeah, listen, I'll take the 500 quid. Answers two
minus
questions.
4,000. Takes 4,000 out of your tally.
Yeah, and then just walk, and then loses. Loses so he can go home quick.
Keep saying pass when you're about to answer in the last one. Pass.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, absolutely. Owen Book says Coke for a hangover. Yes, Coke. Not Diet Coke or that Coke Zero shy. Proper Coke
Zero.
Proper Coke in a can. A pizza that you ordered the night before, but you've kept for yourself for the next day. Absolutely brilliant. Lucozade in a pint glass of ice is the only option, really. Anybody ever try Malibu and Lucozade? Just throwing her out there. Amazing. It's amazing. Tell nobody. This is my secret. Kevin Sullivan says India is reporting that United are offering Sancho 350 grand a week. Fair play.
Wouldn't surprise you.
No, it wouldn't surprise you because they're going to do what they always do and try to spend their way out. And now, don't get me wrong, Sancho's a really good player and he may work well at United, but it's a massive risk to take. But we'll see. I still think Sancho's very much on Liverpool's radar. Bradley Walsh should be allowed to stab people who take the minus offers his own book. A little bit extreme. He wouldn't stab Brenzy anyway. Brenzy a bait.
Yeah.
Brenzy a batter him. Come here, I have one last question for you.
Yeah.
Right. Do you know the way, like, some people, like some days you might have your dinner at the kitchen table?
Yeah.
Right. And then some days you might go, have this in front of the telly.
Yeah.
Is there any dinners that you strategically sit in a certain place to eat because it just doesn't make sense in your own head to sit somewhere else than eat it? Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah. No, I'm always at the table, really.
Oh, yeah.
I'm only ever fucked over to the sofa when there's a full house, you know what I mean? So the kids are there, me and the missus, we're running out of seats, get over on the sofa, so there's no set meal.
Is there any meal? I'll tell you why I'm saying this, right? I like sitting at the kitchen table eating my dinner. I have no problem with that. I'll come into the sitting room watching the telly, I'll have anything. But I will not, under any circumstances, eat soup or a stew on the sofa.
Would you not?
No,
Curl up in a little ball.
No, because I like bread with me stew, and the bread's going everywhere, and then it's
that is
dripping.
true,
And like when you let's be honest about it, when you dip bread in a stew, yeah, and then you try eat it, it's going down your chin and everything. Like you know what I mean? It's not pretty.
If you're bringing accessories into it, then you have to be at the table, don't you? You can't be. It's like if you have like a Chinese and you have like prawn crackers and all that. You're not loving all that over to the sofa and eating it there.
Yeah,
crumbs and shit like that. So yeah, I can see that.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's too liquidy, isn't it? Soup and stew and all.
Yeah, you're taking unnecessary risks.
You need a solid base to be sitting on and a set kind of base for stew and soup. And I struggle with cereal on the sofa as well.
No, cereal would be alright.
Have I had a stroke maybe? And it's just stuff running out of my mouth involuntarily.
That could be it.
Yeah, I might have to get that looked at.
You might need to check that out.
Dunk says eating on the sofa is for slobs. Owen Bourke says, weirdly, and he does call himself a complete weirdo, he says he always eats his breakfast standing at the sink. Is that any sort of breakfast? Is that like, toast, cereal, a fry? Do you stand at the counter at the sink eating a fry? Mad. Dylan O'Rourke says...
But now he says that I'd often stand at the sink and eat a bowl of cereal, yeah.
Yeah, people do that, but I'm thinking, you don't stand at the
Wouldn't
sink.
Wouldn't eat a fry.
Well, he says he always eats his breakfast, unless he just... He's regimental in eating cereal. I don't know. Dylan says if you're not eating a curry in front of the telly, you need to give your head a wobble. Of course, Dylan was in the car the other day with his girlfriend. Them got to his house, and then they involved his father in the whole pod that night, and they were all sitting together watching listening to the podcast together,
talking
and
about
cabbage as well. Yeah, a full fry over the sink, says Dylan O'Rourke. No. Let me see. Dunk says Grizz is a Jonah. By the way, he was at Watford and the Chelsea game. Massive point. He is. Massive point. We're definitely getting onto him in the morning, and he claimed that we're bullying him, and we just tell him we're not. But I think Grizz should be banned from Liverpool games till the end of the season. Anyway, cereal on the sofa. Why not? I don't know. It's like getting the cereal from the bowl on the spoon to me mouth. It's just like a massive challenge to me.
There's a lot of stuff going on. There's a lot of plates being spun here.
Yeah, and if your fucking hands a bit shaky, the milk's everywhere, and you're trying to deal with that, and it just doesn't work for me. Owen says it's mainly cereal and toast and eggs that he eats over the sink. Do you just not like sitting down? That's mad. I'm glad I answered the question though now, because Owen has just blown my mind now.
Yeah.
I mean, toast and eggs at the sink.
Toast. So like eggs on toast, boiled egg on toast.
I don't know. Scrambled eggs.
Yeah.
I don't know. I only eat eggs and omelettes, so.
Yeah. That's it. Just.
Yeah.
No, I like eggs now, I have to say.
Yeah. Dylan O'Rourke says crumbs in the bed should be a form of punishment in prison.
Oh yeah.
I hate that. My daughter goes up to my bed to sit with my wife watching the telly, and I come up and there's fucking everything in the bed. She usually brings up the crumbliest thing she can find.
Yeah.
You know, goes up with a hammer and a packet of digestives and just smashes them around the place. And then gets up and says good night. And I come up and I'm like, no.
You get in there, that's awful. That's a bleeding torture job, that, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is. Grizz will go on a blocking spree tonight, says Owen Bourke. No different than the other night. Grizz is mental. He's absolutely mental. Why did he change the flavour of Cocoa Pops? Are they not just chocolate?
Did they change them?
Did they?
They have white ones, I know that. But they still do chocolate ones. Don't know, did they change them?
They've white ones?
Kids.
White chocolate?
Yeah, they've white. Yeah, it's do you know what, right? It's like the Emperor's New Clothes, because they're just really Rice Krispies. There's no blatant white chocolate. They're white. They're like fucking... I got them they first came out, paid about $5 for the box, and thought, Jesus, white chocolate Rice Krispies. Or white chocolate Cocoa Pops. No, like white Krispies. Put the milk in, waiting for the magic to happen, just like a bowl of Rice Krispies.
All right.
Absolutely copy the balls.
Okay. Come here and I ask you, do you ever remember the cereal Banana Bubbles?
Banana Bubbles? Yeah. No, but for something's ringing a...
They were like...
It's ringing a bell there.
They were like Rice Krispies, but they were banana flavour.
Banana flavour. Yeah, there's something in the back of your head there that's saying, yeah, you do know them, but...
They've changed it because of the sugar tax, apparently. There's less sugar in the new Cocoa Pops.
They're ruining it for everyone, aren't they?
Yeah. Let me see. Were the chocolate ones just Rice Krispies? They were, but with chocolate on them. Reese's Puffs, top of the pop cereal. I don't know what they are. That's them.
Oh, they look the business.
Are they the peanut butter?
Yeah, Reese's, peanut butter. They do bleed. I love peanut butter. But then all that Reese's stuff does be gorgeous. Or Reese's cereal, you know.
I don't like peanut butter, but I can't remember the last time I tasted it. But I remember in primary school, a fella used to come into school with peanut butter sandwiches, and it was caked onto it.
The peanut butter game has changed
And
since then, Gav. You need to go
he
back
was
to
eating
this.
the bread, and the bread was stuck to his teeth and all, and that was fucking disgusting. So I can't. So there we go. That's
You've
it.
taken your frustration out on the peanut butter there, when really you should have
Oh yeah,
probably
yeah.
taken it out on
I'd say
the
it's
perpetrator here.
I'd say it's probably a 30-year ban on peanut butter because a fellow I went to school with it was disgusting watching him eating them sandwiches.
Yeah.
Right, let me see. Have you anything else before we go?
No, nothing more.
You're okay? All right.
Okay, all good.
Good stuff. I have nothing else either. That's been the Fatback 4 Daily for Tuesday night. As I've said, Liverpool have exited the FA Cup. But look, don't worry. The Reds are still the bizzo. And we just have to settle. We'll settle on a league title, and if a Champions League comes along, listen, all the better. Keith, are we going to come back tomorrow and do our next bit of the season review so far?
Fine with me, yeah.
Good stuff. We'll be back at 10 p.m. tomorrow for about an hour then, discussing the September. We're going to discuss September tomorrow in the 2019-20 season. Thanks a million for joining us. Periscope did not work tonight. Not our fault. It's obviously a fault somewhere along the airlines. But YouTube has been absolutely brilliant. So people watching there, please subscribe. Please hit the bell icon so you know when we're live. And hit the like button. That's what I've been told to tell people. That's it. Talk to you in a bit. Over and out.